Imagine buying a car and realizing it knows more about the road than you do. It sees danger before it happens. It predicts your next move, and in some situations, it can legally decide not to listen to you at all. Welcome to 2026. Because the cars you're about to see aren't just vehicles anymore. They're rolling supercomputers, and many experts quietly believe they shouldn't even be legal. Let's start with a car that doesn't just drive itself, it thinks. The 2026 Tesla Model S Plaid Plus AI Edition is no longer about speed. Yes, it still hits 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. But that's not the scary part. The scary part is its neural driving system. This car doesn't rely on pre-programmed rules. It learns. Every mile you drive, it builds a behavioral profile of you, how aggressive you are, how late you brake, even how you react under stress. In emergency situations, the car can override your steering and braking entirely. Not assist, override. In multiple test cases, drivers tried to force control, back-end couldn't. The system decided it knew better. In some regions, lawmakers are already questioning whether a machine should have the legal authority to disobey a human driver. Now imagine that power inside a luxury car that feels alive. The 2026 Mercedes-Benz EQS NeuroDrive doesn't just respond to touch or voice. It reads micro-expressions, tiny changes in your face, slight shifts in posture. The car knows if you're tired before you do. If you're angry, it softens acceleration. If your stress spikes, it changes cabin lighting, seat pressure, and even reroutes you away from traffic automatically. Sounds comforting until you realize this car is constantly analyzing your emotional state. In some countries, privacy advocates are calling it emotional surveillance on wheels. The question isn't how advanced it is. The question is, should a car be allowed to psychologically profile its driver in real time? Next up is a car that breaks a different rule, the laws of physics. The 2026 Rimac Nevera isn't street legal in spirit, only on paper. Nearly 2,000 horsepower torque that hits instantly. Acceleration so violent it can cause brief disorientation. But the real controversy, its predictive traction system. The car calculates road grip before the tires touch it, adjusting power output milliseconds ahead of reality. In testing, it was shown to outperform professional drivers consistently. Some racing authorities argue it gives drivers superhuman capability, essentially turning public roads into racetracks. Several countries debated restricting it to truck-only use. It survived barely. Now, let's talk about a car that doesn't want you to drive at all. The 2026 Apple Car project Titan X finally arrived, and it quietly redefined ownership. There's no traditional steering wheel in default mode. No pedals visible. You can request manual control, but the car decides whether to grant it. If weather, traffic density, or local risk algorithms say no, the answer is no. Apple argues this reduces accidents. Critics argue it removes freedom. In certain cities, the car automatically limits where you can go, prioritizing safe zones over user preference. It's the first consumer vehicle that treats the driver as a passenger by default. And once you experience it, driving a normal car feels outdated. And finally, the most controversial car of them, all because it changes what legal even means. The 2026 BMW Vision iX Sentinel is equipped with Vehicle-to Government communication tech. That sounds harmless until you understand what it does. The car receives live updates from city infrastructure, traffic authorities, and enforcement systems. Speed limits aren't just displayed, they're enforced. Try to exceed them, and the car simply won't allow it. In restricted zones, acceleration is electronically capped. In extreme cases, the car can remotely disable itself if flagged as unsafe. BMW calls it cooperative mobility. Critics call it rolling compliance. It's the first car designed to obey the system before the driver. So here's the real question. When does a car stop being a tool and start becoming an authority? These 2026 vehicles blur the line between assistance and control, between intelligence and dominance. They're safer, faster, smarter than anything before them, but they also challenge the idea that the driver is in charge. And maybe that's why they feel illegal. Not because they break the law, but because they break our expectations. The future of cars isn't coming. It's already here, and it's watching you drive.